Welcome to A&R 360. I'm Carl Joseph, and here we take an in-depth and varied view of people, places, and things in Antigua, Barbuda. Today I had a very good chat with Dr. Julia Bird, a noted optometrist here in Antigua, Barbuda, and the president of the World Glaucoma Patient Association. Dr. Bird just happens to be one of my swimmers at the Marlin Swim Club, and while in the water oftentimes we have chit-chats about any and everything. Today we just happen to be talking about a topic that's of great interest to her because of the potential eye concerns that it poses. The upcoming partial, at least for our region, solar eclipse that's going to take place next week, Monday, August 21st. This is one of those conversations that I just had to get on camera right away. So we chatted right there in the water just before class. So it's interesting imagery. Dr. Bird went through with me the do's and don'ts for that day. Stay inside, she says, and make sure your children are with you at least between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. I want to hear why? Here's Dr. Bird. All right, so we're here at historic Dickinson Bay for our Marlin swim session in the afternoons. I'm here with Dr. Julia Bird, one of my ardent swimmers, and she is dedicated. She did her first 50-meter swim just on Sunday. See how all right, Dr. Bird, we chit-chat a little bit while we do our classes. And one of the things that that she drew to my attention was the fact that we're going to be having some version, and she'll explain to you as to what version of the solar eclipse we're going to be getting here in Antigua, Barbuda. So, Ms. Bird, Dr. Bird, sorry, take it away. What are we going to be expecting on the 21st?
Okay, well, as you know, I'm not an astronomer or meteorologist, but I have a vested interest in this to protect my patients that want to stare at the sun to see this celestial event. Apparently August the 21st, somewhere around 2:30 in the afternoon, the moon will start to obscure the sun partially and then progressively, and then there will be a time called totality, which may only last a couple of seconds, and only in a narrow swath of the United States this year, which I think ranges from the states of Oregon to somewhere near South Carolina. We are supposedly getting a glimpse of what's called a partial eclipse, which will just be a little sliver of the sun peeking out from behind the moon. Unfortunately, that's one of the most dangerous times to be looking at the sun, because it will be comfortable. It won't be as bright as the sun behind us now, and so it'll be easy to stare at. But it's not the light intensity that is damaging, it's the invisible radiation.
Invisible radiation, what is that?
Well, there's a whole spectrum of what we call electromagnetic radiation, Carl. And on that spectrum we have light, we have infrared rays, we have X-rays, which all of us know are extremely damaging. Right. The shorter the wavelength.
Like for instance, you're instructed to get so many X-rays during the course of a year.
That's right.
Because it can be damaged, as you alluded to, it can be damaging.
That's right. And anytime you go to have an X-ray, you will see the technician dart behind a metal screen of some kind.
Protecting themselves.
Yes, and as well as wearing a shield, a gown that has metal in it, while you, the hapless patient, are left lying on the table because you need the image done. So, but X-rays are very short wavelength. Radiation is graduated in wavelengths. The shortest I think I remember from physics, gamma rays, and then X-rays, and then ultraviolet radiation, which is the one in question for next Monday.
Okay.
Ultraviolet rays extend from the sun. No, so so a lot of my patients and friends are saying, so what's the big deal? What's all the hype about? Aren't we exposed to ultraviolet every day?
All the time, exactly. So what is the big deal?
Yes, we are, but if you can see our hooded brows, my brow is hooded, so is yours. The eyeball is deep set in most of our faces, back in an orbit. the eyelids protect. So the sun from above does not impact our retinas to the same extent daily as if we look up, straight up at a bright sun. No, we do have sun gazers, and we do have people that, have lesser sense than we do, that look at the sun, and they do have solar burns. I see solar burns in my office all the time.
Okay.
It's a little burn to the back of the eye, but unfortunately...
And those folks, not to deviate, but those folks who experience the solar burns, what stories do they give you? What preceded the burn?
Well, I saw one after the 1998 eclipse who admitted to looking at the eclipse for lengthy times.
Without protective glasses, which we'll talk about later.
Yes.
Okay.
So others, people on drug binges will do crazy things like looking up at the sun. And so anybody that comes in with a serious solar burn to the macula, which is that sensitive part, you have to question their mental state and their mental competence. What will be different on Monday is it will be comfortable to look at the sun. And so you will be unaware that there's something untoward going on in your eyes. You will not feel it immediately. You don't feel a burn per se. You may notice a slight change to your vision depending on how long you looked at the sun. But the consequences won't set in for quite a few days, weeks maybe, afterwards. And, a lot of people say, so can't I just get some drops to treat it?
Right, so can't I just get some drops?
Well, there really is nothing that will treat
the burn.
Okay. For want of a better word. I call it tincture of time. Apparently, in time, some of the untoward effects can normalize. There's in the literature, people offer steroid drops and things like that. But, abstinence really is the best advice.
So how serious, you were just talking about, how serious is this burn?
Well, a solar burn also depends on how long you look at the sun.
Okay.
And how bright it is. And apparently, I've seen in the literature that doctors can sort of diagnose what part of the eclipse you looked at by the shape of the burn in the back of your eye. So if it's a little crescent, then we know you looked at, a sliver of a partial eclipse. And then it depends on the exact location of the burn. Because some people can have a burn to the retina and be unaware of it. But I'm telling you, if it's right in the center of what we call your fovea, which is your sharpest point of vision, you probably will lose that 20/20 line that you so crave.
Right.
And you may never get that back.
So the time that we're talking about on Monday is, it's Monday, right? On Monday is when?
Most of the websites, NASA, etc., are showing for Antigua about 2:20 in the afternoon, beginning.
Right.
Totality may end maybe 4-ish after 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that is the critical time? Between 2:20 and 4?
Yeah. So totality we're not going to see. Totality is the really cool part where the moon blocks out the sun and you get a little, what's called a diamond ring effect, because you get a little peeping of light that looks like a ring. Like the diamond in the ring. Yeah. They will see that in the US, we won't see that here. No, that is actually the safest time to look without a filter.
Okay.
And this is why we're going to the media, because there are a lot of misconceptions about all of this. A lot of people feel that that's the most dangerous time to look at the eclipse is the diamond ring effect. It's not. It's the safest, because that's when most of the radiation is blocked out from the sun.
All right, so do not look, your advice is do not look at the sun between the hours of 2:20 and 4 o'clock.
Don't look at the sun directly anytime.
Anytime?
At any time.
At any time?
Yes.
All right. You started speaking about glasses.
Yes.
Speak about the glasses.
Okay, there's a particular grade of filter that blocks ultraviolet radiation. And the astronomy website, international astronomy website, the scientists, the NASA officials have certified a certain grade of dark filter that will block not only light but ultraviolet radiation. Unfortunately, there are only a few reputable companies who have been tested. Their devices have been tested, and you have a lot of knockoffs and scam artists.
I saw that you sent me something today.
Yes.
Amazon recalling.
That's right.
Some knockoffs.
Apparently, there's an international certifying number for filters that can block UV radiation, tested by laboratories around the world. Apparently, some not so honest individuals have gotten access to that stamp. And so there are a lot of Eclipse glasses that are stamped with the ISO number, certifying that it is verified by NASA and international agencies. This is not so. Amazon has sold millions of these devices, and is only now coming around to the realization that they are really liable for the public safety for what we call the knockoff, the fake glasses. Right. And so they've done an immediate recall on millions of these glasses, and they're offering you a no questions asked refund on anything that you have bought. Also, I'm recommending that people do not use sunglasses stacked one on the other, because I'm understanding that people feel the darker the filter, the more protective. I just want to say it's really hilarious, but it really is not funny.
I know it's serious, but I can just imagine people saying the darker the better.
That's right.
The more glasses I have on my face.
One person told me she was just going to stack standard sunglass with a Polaroid lens, and nothing could get through.
And I want to get to that. That's a serious point, because like Polaroids, a lot of us like to say, hey, look, my glasses are like mine that I have on now. They're Polaroid. So I can look not into the sun really, but I can see clearly with them.
Yeah.
And these are glasses that I think you would recommend as but what are the dangers about that?
The problem with the dark Polaroid lens, it does not block ultraviolet. And whenever you have a dark filter in front of your eyes, your pupil dilates to quite a size.
Right.
And so you are unwittingly letting in radiation that you thought you were blocking out.
Right.
And so the darker you make those filters that are not UV blocked, the more dangerous you are, the more dangerous it is, and the more susceptible you are to a burn from invisible radiation. It's not the light that's going to be your issue, it's the invisible radiation. So please no sunglasses, please no Polaroid sunglasses, please no stacked sunglasses, please no 1998 filters that you kept as a souvenir in your bedroom drawer, because if you inspect that filter closely you will see scratches and
degradation as well.
That's right.
Yeah,
and it's been 20 years. It's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So what am I doing? A lot of people say, so what are you going to do?
So what are you going to do?
Well, first of all, I'm still investigating some of the welders' lenses that are authorized. There are two filters apparently numbered 13 and 14 in welders' goggles. I don't recommend you go and take your grandfather's old welding glasses, put them on, you will not be able to verify the grade.
Right.
I'm making some calls this week to some of the suppliers to find out if they do have those filters available, and I'll bring that information back to the public. How expensive those are for a few seconds of viewing, I'm not sure. But I can guarantee you that I will not be staring at the sun. I looked at the 1998 Eclipse with some of the original viewers. Those were safer. The internet was not the same place, as you know, Carl, as it was 20 years ago. It's really unfortunate. And we didn't have this issue with con artists, at least not to the extent.
And a lot of fake
yes.
items being peddled out there.
Yes. And I ordered hundreds of them off of my original university's website.
Right.
So they were verified by the American Optometric Association. Nobody's taking any responsibility this year. There are just too many fake items, and I will not sell glasses this year.
Do you know about any of your colleagues that might be?
No, I haven't heard of anybody selling on the island. I know a lot of people do online buying, so I know a lot of people have sourced them online. So a lot of my colleagues in the US are looking up the diagnosis code for solar retinopathy to use on Tuesday.
Right,
They're anticipating a lot of injuries. And I'm instructing camps parents of toddlers, keep the children inside. Let them watch it on television.
Okay.
It's not a once-in-a-lifetime event. They will be able to see another eclipse in 2024. Hopefully, we'll have control of the internet by then, and you know, it may be a nicer time.
So your final advice is?
There is no safe time to look directly at the sun, anytime, any day. Avoid it. A fleeting glance upwards won't kill your retina, but you know, anybody trying to see the progression of an eclipse, especially the photographers, is not going to look fleetingly. You're going to have a sustained viewing, and it's dangerous. And
children are at risk.
Children are especially at risk because they're so intrigued by things like this. There's been a lot of television hype. Children will not keep a dark filter on that blocks out everything else but the sun. Remember, the filters are darker than sunglasses, so they block out all visible light. I cannot see a 3-year-old keeping a filter on that blocks out her mom, her dad, and the rest of the world. So children will be inclined to lift the lens to see what's going on. It's really not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it.
So keep children inside.
Keep children indoors.
Okay.
Yes, keep children indoors. You know, scientists and astronomers and, you know, people with the correct equipment, photographers who have sourced the correct equipment, it'll be a great celestial event. It's not worth it for the rest of us. And there's just one last thing I forgot when you asked what I plan to do.
Right.
If I'm going to take a peek, I'm going to close my dominant eye. And I'd like Carl to close his right eye, I'm sorry, and let his left eye take the peek. So if you're going to get a hit, get the hit in your non-dominant eye. Trust me, you'll appreciate it in the future.
There you go. All right. So I'm here with Dr. Bird. Thank you so much, Miss Bird. And we're going to go and swim now, yes?
Yeah, we'll do a few laps.
Okay. All right.
Keep our coach happy.